The most difficult thing for me writing music, I get bored with the idea of it, of the actual mechanical things. When you have a spark of an idea you want to do, and then what you've got when you have with music, you have the boredom of having to write the damn thing. The frustration is the question of knowing where you're going, where you want to do next, because you've created a context. And once you've created a context, the act of composing is so slow, I get angry with myself and do different things, whereas maybe I should just sort of keep going.
It's hard to talk about Harrison Birtwistle. It's not even that easy to get stuff out of him. I just got the score of the Violin Concerto newly off the press, and I looked at it, I thought, this looks absolutely wonderful.
It's the one thing I've avoided, and it's one thing that I never thought that I would ever try, because the violin idiomatically is very tricky, and I'm not a violinist. It was a challenge, in fact. I wanted to write a piece for the violin and orchestra in which you really hear the violin. You hear a lot of modern violin concertos, and there's a lot of scrubbing without much point in a funny way. This aspect of the piece works very well for me.
Once I found something I believe in, then I will put it into my repertoire, and it will be no different from the other pieces I play. It seems to have a shape and sonorities that are involving, at times touching, at times really making you look somewhere where you haven't looked before. And this is a quality in compositions I really like.
So much of it is so spare, all these fantastic little duets between the violin and different instruments.
I want these duets to be equal to the soloist, the violinist. It's a concept when I was writing it that the orchestra is like a chorus, like a football chorus, like a football crowd. They're all for whatever one side or the other side. In the case of this, there's only one chorus, but there, within it there are individual voices. The violin asks questions of the orchestra, and the orchestra doesn't always answer in the same way, and things happen when you don't expect them to happen.
There could be something deliberate about saying this is a violin concerto, and I'm not. It's not necessary in this case to say what it's about. I'm instigating most of the happenings, which is, of course, something that happens in the Mendelssohn Concerto. It happens in the Bartok Concerto.
I create a context and find my way, and I cannot conceptualize things too much, because there are more possibilities once you have a context, rather than try to do it all in your head, and I can't work like that. When I've got the thicket, as it were, of my brain clear, then I can find my way through it.
Ultimately, it's very hard to pin down what exactly he's saying, and that for me is a challenge, but also maybe the difference to a book or some music that it is not, you cannot grasp into words too easily what's happening. I only know at the very end that you seem to have made a journey where you arrive in an intriguing place.
We need all these great new concertos as well. There are a few of them, and they're turning up in the way that the Ligeti Violin Concerto is. But I have this feeling, although it's a much more puzzling work than the Ligeti, that this Birtwistle is one of those pieces that's going to have an endlessly long life.